Oh, hello there, IGN. You know, Catholics have church, fat people have Arby's, and I have New York City, home of Ghostbusters. Now, of course, everyone knows all about the movie, but the video game is coming out this June, and I'm lucky enough to be here in NYC to see some of the game and to see some of the locations that inspired the movie. Of course, no trip to the Holy Land is going to be complete without visiting the Ghostbuster Firehouse. Now, in the movie, this is where the containment unit is, where the Ecto-1 is stored, and where the guys hang out. In the video game, it's the exact same thing. You're going to be living inside that firehouse as the rookie Ghostbuster. Let's go inside, see if we can get some of the real Ghostbusters to talk to us. Hello? I have an appointment with Dr. Venkman. Excuse me. Well, I guess the New York Fire Department has more important things to do than talk to Greg Miller about Ghostbusters. We don't, so we're going to the New York Public Library. Of course, in Ghostbusters the movie, the New York Public Library is where the guys meet their first ghost, right? I mean, it's that purple librarian, everybody remembers it. However, in Ghostbusters the video game, you're going to find out that purple librarian is actually Eleanor Twitty, and you're going to have to actually help her out. The guys are going to park the Ecto-1 right over there. Come on up, this stupid-ass lion's gonna explode behind me, and the guys are gonna go inside, help the Gray Lady, and eventually go into another dimension. You know, all this talk, I've had enough of it. Let's actually go play Ghostbusters, the video game. What do you say?
If there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! If there's something weird and it don't look good, who you gonna call?
So that's it, viewer. Thank you so much for joining me on my Ghostbuster dream. I finally got to walk the streets with a proton pack. It was awesome. I got to see the game. Honestly, I can't imagine how this get did.
Hey, my cadet. There he is. Are you ready to be trained on the new equipment?
Hello, Dan. It's a pleasure to meet you. Greg Miller from IGN's Ghostbuster Wing. How are you today?
I'm very good. I'm glad to see that there's some new blood interested in putting on the uniform and the equipment. You know, the last generation of Ghostbusters, we're all getting our knees and hips replaced now. So we need young men like you who can still drive and still operate the cyclotron and hang on to that wand. It's at full power, man. You'll develop some forearms hanging on to that proton wand.
Oh, I know. No one's getting my proton pack away from me. Dan, obviously, we're here to talk about Ghostbusters, a video game. Big thing. How did you get involved with this? Did they come to you? You come to them?
They came to me, and these are guys, much like yourself, who probably saw the second movie when they were in their late teens and grew up to be gamers and programmers. And they loved the movie so much that they wanted to make a video game out of it.
So what's your involvement in there? I mean, was it as simple as handing it off, or did you come back in and rewrite it?
Harold and I had to, we took a draft, yeah, and we traded a draft back and forth, and then we gave it back to them. They came back with a draft, and we came up with a polish. And then we had to do all our own dialogue, retone it to bring it back to the tone of the first and second movie. And also, there's a lot of new equipment introduced in the game. So you want that exposition not to sound like it's a tutorial. You want to be able to sound human. So that was a challenge in the writing. And then restoring our characters was tough. It was like getting the Ectomobile out of the garage after 15 years. It needed new paint, new injectors, new wheels, new bearings, new oil, new hydraulics. So for me, my character had to be completely restored. I had to go back and watch both movies. I had to work with their script, and I had to kind of recall the enthusiasm and the passion that I had when I was doing the character. And I think we pulled it off.
When this game first got announced, people were talking about how, this is going to be canon in the Ghostbuster legacy, and it's kind of the third film. But now you guys are actually talking about a third film, right?
I always looked at this as the third movie, and I think the gamers did too, and they've developed it with that in mind. And in fact, it really is kind of a sequel. Hopefully, it will feed into the third movie and will help it get made. That's what I'm hoping.
As far as, looking at that, what would are you piggybacking off this? Is it going to be pulled from? Will people talk about the rookie and stuff that happened before?
Well, I believe that in the new movie, we've got to have a whole lot of new rookies. We're getting to the point where we need new staff, and so this could perhaps stimulate some thoughts for the third movie. I think that, in fact, the two screenwriters have worked with the gamers, just playing the game and seeing the way it evolved. And the two writers we have on the first draft right now, they work for The Office. I think they're going to be drawing a lot from this game.
Obviously, this is a banner year for the Ghostbusters franchise. 25 years. I mean, it's this giant anniversary people are making a big deal about. Blu-ray's coming out now, you know, all these celebrations. Did you ever think it would be something like this? I mean, I know I've watched the featurettes. You talk about how, you know, you thought it was something good during it.
We did, but you never know when you make a movie. You just, you know, you work, you punch in, you punch out, you go home every night, and you know, hope it ends before no one dies, so that you can get it complete. I mean, you know, honestly, I think that 50% of the success of the movie is Ivan's direction, Harold and me writing, and our performance as actors with Moranis and Sigourney Weaver. The other 50% is Bill Murray. I mean, you know, he's one of the greatest leading comic men ever. You know, he just brings so much when he invests in a character, and the movie was successful in half measure because of his performance.
What about Blu-ray? I mean, this is, like I said, coming up. I'm someone who's bought, you know, every format since Laserdisc now, even the memory stick one, the first movie ever released on memory stick. Why Blu-ray? Why should people go out and buy that this week or this you know, year? Well,
it's all we have. Just like DVDs are all we have now. And have you ever really had a DVD completely operate perfectly for you all the time?
No, format's dead.
VHS, man, bring it back.
Betamax, come on now, let's not overlook the real classic.
A VHS, you have Betamax, you can stop it, come back 2 weeks later and pick it right up.
Okay, that's good enough. So Dan, final question. Do you remember when you were in Ghostbusters?
I remember, of course, vividly. I remember walking onto that stage at Columbia, the Warner stage there in the Valley, and seeing the entire rooftop of a building that we had just shot at in Manhattan and thinking, wow, this is movie making.
That was awesome. I'm Greg Miller. This is the heart and the soul of the Ghostbusters, Dan Aykroyd. Thank you so much, sir.
We're ready to believe you.
I love you so much. I used to have your action figure at home. I love you so much. I want to miss you.